You got it? Oh, so now we were saying that someone said that God will forgive you for what you do, but your body won't forgive, because your body gonna what? Break down. Biologically, our body is preparing us for death. Y'all don't know what I'm telling you.
When you grow again.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you. I'm serious, man. But we are not mentally prepared for it. And that's the problem. That will, because something happens all of a suddenly, and it will break us what? Down even further.
Yeah, see, boy, I ain't young as I used to be.
Man, there you go. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, ain't that something, man? That's serious, man. Because I know personally, I don't want to say it, but that my breathing patterns do what? It changes, man.
That's kind of hard preparing yourself for that.
I know, man. Hey, some hell of a shit, ain't it? That's some hell of a shit, man. That's why when someone takes somebody's life prematurely, that's abbreviated life expectancy. Somebody killed that person. They cut his life what?
Short. We cut our own lives short by what we do to our bodies.
Now that's the whole point. That's what I want to point. We cut ourselves short by what we do to our bodies. Ain't that something, man? By even what we could think in our what? In our mind. Ain't that something, man? Man, remember, happiness, the state, the quality of your what? Of your being. And your being really is your entity. Your entity. Your divinity. That divine spark. And do you know that your diet really is your deity? That's what you worship. Think about it. You don't have to agree to it. Because remember, I'm dealing with the word. I'm dealing with the word itself. By what we consume. It ain't not necessarily what we consume in our food intake. Yeah, man. And you start to worship that. Huh? And when you start to worship, it could become an idol. Ain't that something, man? That's some serious stuff if you think about it. So now, we always have to be intentional of what we do when it comes to listening to our what? Our happiness. Huh? Ain't that something, man? Because one thing we realize about listening, that it is critical in the animalistic realm. Because you ever seen a deer? You make one little sound, but
they run.
And if we run, we look.
That's why they stand.
They look
Yeah, man,
and then go.
Because listening is what? Critical. What I'm trying to get you to see, a lot of times we're not listening to what our body is what?
Telling
us. Huh? But we will listen to everything else. But we don't listen to what our body is telling us. That's why you can't
And it cries out for help and we don't listen.
It tells you what it wants to take, what it wants to eat. But we can get distracted by listening to outside stuff. Even, that's why you can't worry about what people would say about you. Is that serious?
1,000% true.
So that's why, because we start to consume that intake. And that shit would throw you, get you, man.
Oh, really?
That's some serious stuff, man.
Yes. That's why nobody's saying them, because everything you're saying is 1,000% true.
Yeah. And this wasn't nothing that was planned. This is something that I'm vibing off of. Was you over here? It's coming from you all. We all are working through this thing what?
Together.
It's like if we working on it together, a lot of people should talk about it.
No, that's why in the book it says there is no condemnation in Christ what? Jesus Christ. Because you shouldn't condemn the body that you're in. That's some shit, man.
That's your temple.
Yeah. Why should we?
Be your temple.
Why should we condemn what? Each other. You look at condemned buildings all over, don't you, man? And condemned buildings either could be rehabilitated or they can be what? Destroyed because they're condemned, right? Ain't that something, man? So you don't want to destroy your body. And the first way you don't have to destroy your body is you got to change your what? Your mind and thinking. Huh? Yeah. Remember I said, once you change your thinking, then you change your attitude. And once you change your attitude, you change your behavior. Ain't that something, man? That is some serious stuff. So now we see that what we need to do is listen to our habits. And when you can tell we're dealing with the state, the condition of your what? Of your habits. The quality of your what? Happiness. The being of your what? Happiness. And then we're dealing with the intentions, but I got intentional, but the intentions of your happiness, because some people can take pleasure in making you feel unhappy.
Yeah.
At the expense of making them feel what? Happy.
Yeah, God.
Ain't that something?
You gotta be a miserable person to do that.
Ooh, man. Ain't that something?
Yeah.
It's not even just the misery you love company, but you just gotta be a messed up person mentally, like in your head, period. Just to have that type of mindset to just say, oh, I just wanna do this to a person because you got a thrill of saying something, do that to somebody.
Ain't that
Like,
something?
you just ain't right in them up. You
Some
know what I'm
people
saying?
will be mad, some people mad at me and they not.
Walked up mentality.
You know, that's what we're dealing with, man. We can see it. We can see it. It's like, it's at its highest peak now. That they, some people, heaven is contingent upon you living in there. And that's why you can't let that what? Can't let that happen anymore. You can't let it happen. So now, we see again, happiness, the state, quality of your being, the intention. Or you should be intentional about listening to your what? Happiness. And we don't want to be delusional about it. This country said that they were in pursuit of what? Happiness. Ain't that something?
That's exactly where we're going right here.
Yeah, you on it. They was in pursuit. Remember, I said our purpose here is to reach our full what? Potential. That means that we don't have to reflect carelessness or callousness. That means we become unempathetic, unsympathetic, one of the two. Yeah. So we don't want to reflect that. We want to learn how to care for ourselves. And when we learn to care for ourselves, we know the importance to care for who? Others. Ain't that something? That's some serious stuff. So listen to the state of your happiness, the quality of your happiness, by the way you live your what? Your life. Your being, which means always what? Growing involved. You have to maybe see yourself, maybe not as a human being, but maybe as a spirit, maybe. I don't know. I ain't talking about nothing that's spooked out. I'm talking about the energy of the life that's what? That is in you. That is always transforming, growing, and evolving. Maybe see yourself as a phoenix rising from the what? The dust. Ain't that something? Dust represents curiosity. Huh? Curiosity is a science. You are curious. Yeah. And we want to rise above, because when you talk about a phoenix has what? Wings. On man. So you want to fly and reach the highest heights in order to reach or fulfill your potential. And it must be cultivated. Activated, cultivated. Cultivated, activated. That means you have to do some work. And you know, when you don't pay your phone bill, they what?
Cut it off. What do you give it?
Cut it off. Until you pay the what? Pay the bill. So we got to do some work in order to keep the phone on, or the phone, excuse me, the phone on, because it's a major part of how we communicate. So we got to keep on listening to our happiness, the state of our happiness, the condition where we are in our happiness. And don't be delusional about it. The quality, how we live our what? Our life. Being what? Intentional about it. Because intentions maybe is judged by your actions. Ain't that something? The actions that who take? You take. About living a quality life. When it comes to listening to your what?
Happiness.